There's some pretty sweet rigs out here. Got everything from XJs and TJs to full-on Porsches, and we'll go take a look at those. So here's something you don't see on the trails every day. Check these Porsches out. Off-road lights, beadlock wheels, hella front grills. You look, there's a winch tucked in front. They've got their snorkels up and running. Pretty cool. So this is something you've probably never seen before. Four-wheel drive Porsches. I'm with the guy that builds them. His name's Bryson. I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about his Porsche builds.
My name is Bryson. I own 380 Industries and Type 11, where we do mainly all Porsche restorations, but with all the 380 stuff. We do all the commission-built Cayennes. We started it several years ago. We do a lot with Lehman Keen on all the 911 Safari builds that he does, and I built the blue one as a support truck for all his client trips. Yeah. And then all the Cayenne commission stuff has really started from that. So these three behind me, we ended up doing, mine's the first one we did. His J with the chalk gray Cayenne is a more refined, we pretty much prototype everything off the blue one. The gray one gets a more refined production of like our suspension, all our bumper bars, all our other stuff. And then Michelle's over here, she competed in the Rebelle Rally this past year, and they actually completed the whole rally, which is part of the point. She's a turbo 955, where our two are base model V6s, but these are the only two V6 base model Cayennes in the US with the rear locker. Oh, wow. They'll be working with Harrop on doing the electric front locker. We got the front locker for the blue one. I haven't installed it yet because we've been waiting on a couple parts, but it's something that just part of what we do at the shop is doing all these Cayennes. Yeah. So, and these are no joke too, because if you look underneath, there's skid plates, you guys have tire carriers, you got the rally numbers. Like, these things are go fast, go anywhere. Yeah, well, they also, you know, I wouldn't consider them a crawler. You're not going to out-crawl a Jeep on a 40, but you know, we frequent Windrock quite a bit. So we're doing everything from, like, we've done 22, 26, 27, 11, all the blues. We've done 30, which is a black, and they do quite well. Everybody was scared of independent suspension front and rear until the new Defender came out, and the new Defenders are independent, and everybody's like, oh, wait a second, there's actually something here. And like, this one's a 2000, hers is a 2003, these two are 2004s, and they continue to evolve. Yeah. Now you've got several companies out there that are offering products and other offerings for the Cayennes as well. We started about 4 years ago now doing it, and it's really, since the pandemic, it's really blowing up in popularity. So we did a video with Vin Wiki on YouTube 2 years ago, and it really, really blew up after that. So capable is a weak word, because capable means it's good enough.
Right.
They're beyond capable. They're actually able to go out and do more than just a couple things. Anything in Georgia is no problem. I did Beasley Knob in mine a couple years ago, but I think probably one of our favorites has probably got to be up at Windrock. We frequent Windrock more than anything else.
That's awesome. And these things all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive?
So they're full-time all-wheel drive. It's a 70-30 split, 70% rear, 30% front. Then they have a center locker that locks it 50-50. Then they have low range that's almost a 3-to-1. It's a 2.7 to 1. The gearing in this one, these two are 456. Hers is a 390. These are 250 horsepower. Hers is 500.
Oh,
so it's
wow.
Yeah, her 390 is just
Goodbye
fine.
Raptor, I guess.
Yeah, they're 456 gearing, low range, center locker, rear locker, and now with Harrop out of Australia, we do have a front locker that's going to come to availability later, probably midsummer this 2022.
And then what type of snorkels are those? Something you fabbed in-house?
Yeah, we fab them in-house. That one was one of the first original designs, the tubular, and then I went to a flat oval shaped, just because we were playing with gas mileage, because I lost 2.5 miles per gallon on the round and only lost 1.2 miles per gallon on the flat, but the flat is a 4-inch where that is a 3-inch. So we've been playing with different sizes to get the gas mileage without having to suffer too much. I mean, once you go snorkel, you have such a long track that you're pulling in from. You want to make sure there's a reservoir there as far as air reserve, but you don't want to kill your gas mileage too much.
Yeah.
So.
And then what are you running for suspension on these? Because they do have a lift on them, right?
They do. So I have a proprietary setup that I do with motion control. It's a 2.5-inch lift. Mine's on remote reservoirs, where this one is on fixed valving. This is our stage 1. The Cayenne Turbo is on our stage 2, which is a non-reservoir but has adjustable valving. And then, like I said, mine's on a remote reservoir with adjustable valving. So with the remote reservoir, it's got an external canister, and when we're fully loaded, we're about 7,300 pounds. Yeah. And a 2.5-inch lift then becomes about a 2-inch lift. So we air the canisters up and we gain that 1/2 inch of lift back. So we keep our ground clearance.
You want to pop the hood on one? And you can,
yeah, any of them we can. Yeah. Yeah, he's looking at the motion control right now. And you'll see the reservoir. The reservoir is up front, sitting up there.
And I was talking to the other guys as well. Most Porsches you don't see a lot of, did stings and pinstriping from branches, but I guess it's kind of like a badge of honor.
Yeah, you gotta leave it alone. You gotta leave the pinstriping. You gotta leave the body damage on there.
Yeah.
But this is a base model V6. Like I said, it's 250 horsepower with all the stuff we've done. It's the same VR6 that's in the Golf R32. Yeah. So it's a super reliable motor. It's, in the Porsche world, everybody knows that these are the base model Cayennes are slow. Yeah. But they're slow in comparison to the 500 horsepower turboed Cayenne. They're still not slow compared to a regular off-roader. I mean, we're still fully loaded. We still can do 105, 110 on the highway to get wherever we need to go.
Legally.
Yeah, of course, always. In Mexico, right?
Yeah.
So, but the wheels, we just finished these up with Braid. Braid is a very popular company that we do with all the other Porsches, and that is a DOT legal bead locker that's on it. And this is a custom spec that we do with Braid that's only available on the commission builds. But it's an 18-inch wheel with these are a 330 millimeter caliper, but underneath this wheel we can fit a 400 millimeter rotor like we do on the later model turboed Cayennes. So, but it is a real bead locker. It's a DOT legal, but it is still a bead locker. It's not that we air down to like 3 psi or 5 psi. It's more for any of the muddy stuff that we go into, we're down to at least 12 psi, and at least it won't debead the tire when it gets fully loaded up in the mud.
Yeah.
So.
And then you guys were talking to me about, that reminds me of the old rally headlights on the front.
The pod lights are a nod to all the work that I've done with Lee now for the last 6-7 years.
Okay.
On all his 911 Safari builds, he puts on a similar style pod light on the 911s, which Porsche did in the 80s as well.
Yeah.
So it's a direct nod to Lee, to being able to work with Lee for so many years and doing all the 911s that we've done with them. So.
And you guys fabricate a lot of the stuff in-house?
We make everything in-house, other than obviously the wheels and suspension, but all the bumper bars, all the rock sliders, all the undercarriage protection, everything we do in-house. Of course, painting them as well. That's been my big thing for several years, for forever now, is painting. But this one's Mexico blue. That's the original Cayenne, Outlaw Cayenne rather.
Okay.
That was the first one, but we're going to be changing that one up for 2002 or 2022.
You guys have the Rome gearboxes. I imagine you've got tools and spares. And
everything, even spare parts. Your spare axles in there, spare drive line or drive shaft.
So a lot of people will say, you know, solid axles versus independent. With these, you got basically independent all the way around on a trail. Have you had to replace any of the CVs?
No.
Awesome.
We haven't had any issue. It's not that it's indestructible, but it's also knowing your rig, knowing your limits. You know, again, you're not going to outcrawl a Jeep on 40s. Right. It's not going to happen. But for anything around Georgia, for anything that we've ran into, obviously we haven't had any issues. It's not to say they're not indestructible. Anything can happen, but respecting the rig, respecting the terrain is part of it. That's part of being a good wheeler or off-roader, I guess you could say. But we continually improve, continually upgrade, continually change, continually develop. But that's part of it. I don't think you can ever really stop changing. You have to continue to adapt and change as you can.
So if somebody wanted to know how to build one of these Porsches, or they want to get one built, how do they get a hold of you guys? So
we work a lot with Forge Motorsport Overland. Okay. And then also with Eurowise is another company that does a lot. PRG Suspension, Rich Motors, I think they're out of West Coast. They also do a lot of products and stuff for the Cayennes. All our stuff is commission based. Okay. I only do a limited number a year because we do so much other 911 Porsche work. Right. The Cayennes are a passion project for me. We do a limited number. I only do so many a year just so we don't get overwhelmed with the other work that we have to do. But there's lots of availability for these cars now. I started a Facebook group, which is the Off-Road Volkswagen Porsche. Okay. We're up to 12,000 members on Facebook now. Awesome. And a lot of the vendors or manufacturers of those products are in that group. Yeah. And you can go in there and check it out. But we work a lot with, again, Forge Motorsport Overland, just like the front runner racks that we're all running are a specific rack that you can only get through Forge Motorsport. Okay. You can't call up Front Runner and get it. You can't call up any other company and get it. It's a special deal that we do with Forge. It's a much bigger rack, as you can see. And you guys built the tire carriers on the back and all. So yeah, we use the Wilco high clearance spare tire carrier. It's a solid product. We're an official Wilco dealer. Yeah. So we work a lot with them on the spare tire racks, and they're a great rack. We literally haven't ran into an issue with any of them. Yeah. So. All right, Bryson. Well, we've gone about 12 minutes. I appreciate your time. No problem. Man. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you would, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, share this video with your friends, and keep coming back for more. Once again, you guys get to come along for the ride, watch me build my dream. True purpose of this channel is motivate, inspire, and help you guys get out there and start building your dreams.